Coy,
Yeah.
feels like a full circle moment. Before we get into the interview, just want to tell you congratulations on being appointed the new head coach of PAC. For those that don't know, tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey with PAC.
Um, Started at PHC as a youngster, PV. Never really thought of trying to or going to play for anybody else, but I worked my way through the ranks, through frustration, through everything, and I eventually became the club captain and won some trophies, some back-to-back trophies, some trophies along the way, and that's pretty much my journey as far as a player, and also through the times of me playing, giving back, and coaching and helping through the program. So just always been in and around a lot. So that's kind of like my journey in a nutshell.
Okay. So started at PAC. Obviously, you left for a bit, sort of at the end of your career, sorry. PAC is a close-knit family, and obviously, people might want to know reasons why you left. You could just share or touch on that, any?
I pretty much had won everything at PHC. Part of my family is split with Dannytown. My cousin played for Dannytown, and I always wanted to play with my cousin, Beachy. So part of that was that, and just trying to test myself really to see if I can go somewhere and still be successful. And I was able to do the same thing. So for me, I was fortunate enough to also win the league and stuff at Dannytown. So I was able to put some good mileage in there and get Suffolk across the line.
In terms of your coaching journey, so moving from sort of the PAC background and playing and into now coaching, you had a few roles obviously at PHC. You mentioned national level and obviously Robin Hood. Why PHC and why now?
Um, it's a tough one. To be completely honest and transparent, and it was tough to leave Robin Hood after only one season. I think I created a connection with the young players that was there. But it's PHC is home, so home comes calling. It's always difficult to say no. And based on the timing of it, um, it may have been not a good time for Robin Hood, but I think it was probably a good time for me and the club to try and help the club and help some of the youngsters that's coming through the ranks at the club.
That's a nice segue into the next question. Obviously, fairly early on in your coaching career, what would you say to the people that may say this is a step too soon in your coaching journey? How do you feel about that?
I could see it, but at the end of the day, I've been coaching for a long time. I coach internationally. I've been coaching internationally for a few years under different people, and for the last maybe 6 years, I've been, pretty much the head coach for U20, U17s, U15s. We were successful at U15s and winning a trophy. And for me, I think yes, it's local football. Yes, it's a Premier Division team. Yes, it's going to be week in and week out. But the pressures and the time scales of every different thing that's on international level, I think it's different. So for me, I think it's just another role for me. While it's a big role, it's still another role.
What excites you most about the PHC project?
Um, Coaching players that I actually coached when they was 8.
That's going to be my next question. Okay.
Some of the players that are in the team, I actually coached at under 8. So Jaheim, Iris, and Quinacio, and so it was a lot of players that I've coached before coming through the ranks that now that they're at senior level, it'll be a good thing to coach them again and be a part of their senior journey as well. So and some exciting youth, sir.
Okay. Now, we touched on the young players just now. It's a different dynamic with you being on the younger side of coaching and having played with maybe a few other guys that are still there. How do you think that dynamic will be for you, and how do you think you'll be able to sort of earn the respect or trust?
I just think it's based on the knowledge and based on how I come across with the information. Football is played on the pitch, and you want to have relationships with players, but at the end of the day, they have to know that at a certain space and a certain time, then I'm not going to be your friend. And that's essentially anybody, but I try to create relationships with all the players that I have. So national level, U15s, U17s, a lot of them will tell you that I actually do have relationships with them. So we may joke around and stuff like that, but when it's time to be serious, then it's time to be serious.
All right, let's get into the tactics a bit, and tell me a little bit about what you're trying to bring to PHC in terms of philosophy, style of play, exciting football, park the bus. Walk me through it.
I'm more of a possession-based coach. I want to play, but I also want it to be exciting. I mean, you have fans that come to pay, right? So you want it to be exciting. You want it to be a lot of goals, but I like to keep possession of the ball. So for me, it's going to be a lot of technical work that we'll work on, that we will do, and hopefully that we can replicate that on the pitch. It comes down to the players really, who wants to. I mean, everybody has to row in the same direction, right? If you don't, then you get little different pockets and stuff like that. So the key is to be pulling in the same direction so that the ideas could come across, and we have to have everybody to believe, right?
Okay. Now, winning trophies at PHC is obviously ingrained in the history. Obviously, you'll be expected to win at Zebras. Do you feel any added pressure to try to deliver in that aspect?
It's always pressure. It's always pressure, but we also have to understand that we're in a space where we have young players coming through that don't really know how to win like that. Playing in the Premier League, being in that competitive, you can be good first half of the season, and you can be poor second half of the season. Second half of the season is what they call the business end. So we have a lot of young players that don't know anything about that. And using the older guys, we're going to have to lean on them, but some players may not be ready, they might be. But the object is to try and get everybody on the same page so that we can fight together to try to achieve those objectives. But, the pressure's not on them, the pressure's just on them to enjoy the game. If we enjoy the game, then we can get the results that we're looking for.
Nice. What are your immediate goals as soon as you take over? And then tell me maybe some of your long-term goals for the team.
Immediately, I mean, for me, we still need to assess the players that we have here. Haven't had a chance yet to do that, and to put a tag and to put a goal on them, as I believe is kind of harsh because I haven't really been able to assess. I know some, but I don't know all. I think for us, I think the immediate goal is to try to make sure that we have some unity within the team and everybody believe. If we can get everybody to believe, I think we can achieve something great. But we have to do the groundwork first. We have to do the legwork first.
We haven't touched on your backroom staff. Will you be looking to add any new coaching staff, or assistant coaches to the current staff, or keeping any of the existing ones? What does that look like for us?
So we haven't had complete conversations with everybody as of yet. Right now, it's just me and one other person who we just brought back on. Kyle Lightborn is going to be coming on with myself. And we just need to sit down and have a conversation. Everything's happened kind of so fast. So once we sit down and have some conversations with some of the people that was here, then we'll go forward and make some decisions as far as they go. But for now, the only one that's definitely on board is Kyle Lightborn.
All right, and just to wrap it up, anything that you want to say to the PAC fans, the wider work community, just sort of your last part and words before we close out the interview.
Just believe. Believe in the project, believe in what we have going on, believe in the young talent that we have. It's hard not to put too much pressure on them, but we have to relax and we have to allow them to play. And that's the key, because as a coach, I try to take the pressure off of them, so when they go out, when you guys put the pressure back on them, it makes things a little bit difficult, but just believe and have some faith in them.
All right, cool. All right, thanks, Cecoy. Good luck for these season.
Yeah, bro.